In this paper, we look at climate and extreme weather events, how they are changing and how they may change in the future. And we look at the consequences of those. We're looking at global temperature and regional temperature changes. We look at sea level rise. We look at weather events like storminess, intense rainfall events, cyclones, coastal flooding. And with the best knowledge that we have at the moment, we look at how they may affect different regions close to Australia and Australia itself. In Australia, we're very familiar with the way climate interacts with our lifestyle and also our social and economic environment. We see the effects of El Nino and La Nina in the sort of droughts and rainfall patterns that we get in Australia. A changing climate is going to bring changes not only in Australia but to our region. On the current greenhouse gas emissions trajectory that we're travelling at the moment, the projections of temperature rise to the end of the 21st century is between 2.4 and 6.2 degrees. Now that won't be uniform all over the world. The northern part of the northern hemisphere will warm more than other parts of the globe, but there will be impacts in our region. South Asia, for instance, is projected to have a temperature rise that's a little above the global average, and that will result in economic and environmental consequences. The projections of the future and the way climate will change have a bearing on the way that we look at the region and the kinds of things that we may have to deal with globally. Sea level rise, for instance, will have a fairly big impact on small island states in the Pacific and also in the Indian Ocean. Sea level rise will also affect the low-lying megadeltas in South Asia and Southeast Asia, and the interaction between sea level rise and increased intensity of rainfall events in some regions, increased storm surges, will have direct impacts on the coastal environment and indirect impacts through increased saltwater intrusion and the loss of coastal agricultural land. In the small island states, sea level rise, those that will be affected by increased storminess or storm surges, will also produce indirect effects such as saltwater intrusion into aquifers and also a changing environment that, for instance, may produce better breeding grounds for disease-bearing mosquitoes. In Australia and some parts of New Zealand, there are regions that will be affected by both increased temperature and expected lower than average, lower than we've been expected to have rainfall, producing a diminishing potential agricultural output. As we've seen in recent weather events, there is also projected to be into the future and steadily rising over the century, increases in intense rainfall events and storminess, and this will have impacts in low-lying communities and particularly along the eastern seaboard where the bulk of Australia's population currently lives. The bottom line is that the way climate is changing at the moment will have direct consequences for how we interact in our region.